Hello, everybody, and welcome to an incredibly scuffed setup. I've got my webcam before I left, and it's reveal season, and I knew it was reveal season, and I knew I was going to be streaming for reveal season, and yet here I am. Look at me, oh so smart. Anyway, it's card reveal day. Brand new expansion coming out. Darkin Saga finale. We've got stuff coming in a couple of minutes, but we know there's an expansion coming, because of, well, there's a certain something. Here it is. This didn't get leaked. It got revealed early on accident the other day. And in it we can see the remaining 3 Darkin, I think. That's actually... No, that's Solani, isn't it? That's Solani. Anyway, here's Aatrox. That's the obvious one, right? Kayle over here and Ryze over here. And then they say Pentakill Predator Remix, which I'm a Pentakill fan, so I'm looking forward to whatever the hell that means. Whoa, wait. We want to ensure an even playing field for Runeterra's World's competitors with a fully open information and relieve the pressure of secrecy. So we're spoiling the entire World Ender set today? We're getting the whole set? Okay. Yeah, sure. I got 5 hours. Oh! Alright, well, it's gonna be a long video, folks, so, like and subscribe, and come click back to it, I guess. We'll be making sure we'll be making sure there's content. I'll make sure there's content for you. This is the World Ender remix of Predator. Okay, this is good. I have no idea I can play this in the video. Okay, and this is for the World Championship starting on November 8th. Oh my god, they're doing... Oh god! What are they doing? They're doing the new expansion the day before Worlds? Oh my god, so the pros are just going to be playing on an entirely fucking new patch. Holy shit, man. Okay, this is gonna be 5 days before your birthday? Hey, happy birthday! Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Wait. Slowly. Okay, wait. Slowly we're getting cards. I gotta scroll through. The Tekken music makes this, like, so much more epic than it actually is, too. Puzzling Signposts is a 4-mana fast in Bandle City. Return a fast or slow spell to hand or destroy a unit's equipment. Draw 1. Oh, it's a deny. It's a Bandle deny. So Bandle I've seen a lot of custom card concepts of this kind of design, where it's like, you return the spell back to hand. Either your own spell or someone else's. And it just goes back to hand rather than outright denying it and fizzling the spell. Deny that draws 1. Pretty much. Same price, too. That's a little... I mean, you're not totally fizzing the spell. The spell can be used again later, so that's why you get the draw 1, and it's still a 4 cost, I guess. The alternate ability to destroy units' equipment is laughable. That's all. I kind of have to go quickly through these, right? Because I'm reviewing 68 cards. More, give or take a couple. Under a few. Poro Stories. Another Bandle City card. Burst. 2 mana. Create 3 random 1-cost Poros in hand. Why is this Bandle? This seems like the card that got revealed to the leakers who were like, oh, Poro King's coming, guys! This seems like the card that got people to say Poro King's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if this is teasing Poro King in the future and that those people maybe had, like, actually the right idea. But Poro King is clearly not in this expansion, as we have seen with the 68 cards revealed to us today. I don't quite get why this is Bandle. My guess is probably to keep it out of Freljord, because in base Freljord, this is probably really good for Poro decks. So it's probably to force you to go in a different direction. Curious Changelings, another Bandle card, is a 3-mana 2/4. When an allied follower transforms into another unit, transform me into an exact copy of it. Is this Nico teasing? Are we getting Nico teasing for the next expansion now? Okay, hold on. This is a cool card, right? Knock attack? Oh, yeah. So this theoretically could be, like, inverse support for Nar's transform followers. I'm not sold on that. I don't think it quite is. It could be. But I'm not sure if it's this could be Nico teasing. This could be just we need to support the transform archetype in Bandle City and it's bad, and we'll make it a chameleon because we'll probably put Nico. They might be putting Nico in Bandle City. This might be a teaser for like future. This might be Nico was just decided to be Bandle City, and we'll see her in like 3 expansions. Oh yes, Balkux, the Darkin Staff. 1 mana. This is the Bandle Darkin. Strike, refill 1 spell mana. You may spend 8 mana to play me as Balkux. It's a 1 mana give an ally impact. Impact being a very non-impactful keyword. Haha. But an important one at least. And then going back to Balkux, what does he do? When you spend spell mana, grant me impact for every spell mana you spend. Ooh. Okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate Balkux. I think Balkux is an interesting looking card, and I feel like I should stop saying that name. The problem is he has to be on the field for the spell mana effect to take place. And he's a Darkin, right? So he works with... He doesn't really work with spell mana that much. I mean, I guess whatever secondary region you pair him with, because we know Aatrox, as I've already seen, is going to work with Darkin weapons. I feel like it's very weak and very under-interactive, because Impact is... Yeah. Migo face. I agree. This could use something. It feels bland for a Darkin, and I feel like that's kind of the worst thing a Darkin could be. Willy Newtfish in Bilgewater. Nexus Strike, draw 1, and give it Fleeting. And it's a 3 mana 1/3 elusive. Huh. It's interesting to see if this is going to do something like Twisted Fate, right? My main problem is this is an open attack card, right? You can't commit things and then go for the draw because it's fleeting. You're risking too much if you go for the draw while it's fleeting. So I'm going to say it's a decent card. Could maybe use another coat or 2 of polish. Well, it doesn't need polish. I don't know where it's going to end up. It could end up in Nami. It could end up with Twisted Fate. It'd be better if it drew next round. Yeah. That's why I think... is it Jural? The Darkin Harpoon. I think that's Jural. Ibaros. There we go. Ibaros. Ibaros is a good card because he draws at the round start. And that's what makes it, like, worthwhile to run him as a card. Also, you know, the Fearsome's not bad. And the Growing is pretty good. He's a good finisher for, like, a Twisted Fate deck for all the draw that you're trying to do. But Ibaros drawing on round start as opposed to immediately is such a big difference, and I think that's going to put Newtfish down in terms of its viability. But yeah. This could be a cool card. You might run it in the same decks you run Ibaros in. We'll just kind of have to wait and see, won't we? Eye of God, 2 mana 0/0, attack, spawn 2. Whoa. Okay. Now that is a good item. That is a good equipment. Hi, Alawi. Welcome back to the meta. I think the really cool thing is you can put this on a tentacle. So, like, turn 1, you can have, you can put down the Watchful Idol, whatever it is, the idol that spawns tentacles. Turn 2, you'll have a tentacle spawned, and you can put Eye of God on it. Turn 3, or same turn, you attack, and now you have a 3/3 tentacle on turn 2. And every time you attack with your tentacle, it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is a really good equipment. This card is actually, like, insanely good. I need to make that really well known. Eye of God is a really good equipment. This is really good. This is going to bring Alawi back. I genuinely think so. All right, Champion Strength. Hey, that's a reference to, Awaken? No, Warriors. The Warriors cinematic. Except Jarvan's here for some reason. He wasn't there in that cinematic. Give allies +4/+4 this round. If you have the attack token, give them scout this round, otherwise rally? What? Oh! Oh, okay. What? What? So elites, huh? Fuck, man. For Demacia, the 6-mana give allies +3/+3 this round is already a card you see so much. This, for 2 more mana, lets you attack twice or rally. And in either situation, you win. This card wins. The choice this gives you is, if you use this on an attacking round, your opponent has to be able to muster up a board to survive 2 attacks of +4/+4. And you're not playing this unless you already have like a stacked board, 5 or 6 attackers. On the other hand, if you play it on the back foot, where you're on the defensive turn, you are basically denying your opponent the ability to attack that turn, because now they have to stop. They nerfed rally cards and then made this excellent? Yeah, pretty much. The way this works is, because of that rally, you cannot attack if someone plays this. You cannot attack into this. So you have to play defense. And yes, you survive that turn, you maybe get to play 3 or 4 more cards, depending on what you have, and then your opponent just hits you with the exact same board, just slightly weaker. This is nuts. This card is nuts. This card wins the game. On the spot. The moment this card comes down, if it goes through, that is game. I guarantee you. This card is actually insane. Trusty Ramhound, the first time you summon another elite, grant me +2/+2. At 1 mana? 1 mana 3/3? For just summoning another elite? That's really good. Okay, they're making elites this expansion. Cool. Good to know. It's not Cythria. Cythria is a base 2/2, you know, that's pretty good. If you're running equipment, you'd probably still want to run Stag, which they introduced with Vayne. If you're running just pure elites, this is better than Cythria. Because turn 2, you're gonna have another elite to play, almost always. Or maybe turn 3, at worst. This is an insane card. Ramhound's a good card. Put those two together, elites are now the best deck in the game. Maybe not the best deck in the game, but elites are going to be really good coming into this new meta. If you are looking for a deck and you need like a cheap deck that you probably got a lot of it already crafted, go for elites. You're going to have elites to play with. Yeah. Elites needed a 1-drop. They had Cythria, but this is a far better 1-drop. Petricite Charger. Hey, Galio's even getting some support. 3 mana Formidable. I don't take damage from enemy spells or skills. So y'all know Petricite Stag, the 8 mana, what is it, 8 mana 7/7 or something with this effect? This is worse. This is worse. This is an uninteractable Formidable unit. You have to kill this with combat. Oh no! Oh no! Control is really good. Yeah, Quietus can take it out. Recall can take it out. Vengeance. You have to kill it directly, or you have to recall it. Those are the only 2 ways of getting rid of it. P and Z, nothing. Noxus, nothing. Unless you have a Flock. Flock, nope, Flock can't do it, because Flock deals damage, doesn't kill it. You need a Noxian Guillotine to kill it. Noxus can maybe do it. Noxus needs the right spells to do it. Targon can do it. Demacia can't do it. Freljord can do it. Freljord's also kind of niche, but Freljord can do it. I think. Well, Freljord needs Winter's Breath, but Freljord already beats the shit out of Formidables, so. Roar of Acathia, another Demacian spell. 6 mana slow, summon 2 Acathian Mirages equipped with up to 2 equipments in hand that cost 2 or less. Okay, so this is another equipment cycling card. I feel like we have a lot of equipment cycling already, and a lot of them are already pretty decent. I don't know about this one. This is a way to get units down on the board and equipment out of your hand. I'm not sold on this card. This is so much better than the 6 mana summon 2 3/3s. Yeah, I mean, it's power creeping the 6 mana summon 2 3/3s, but that card sucks. This card is still pretty bad. I don't think this card's good. Woolly Snailmoth. Empowered 8. Regeneration. I'm just gonna take a guess here. I don't know this, but my guess is empowered means if it has power 8. Because that would also make sense with, like, Forge and Ornn, this expansion, right? So you can give this equipment and then it gets to power 8. My guess is it also has to stay at power 8, so if it, like, de-equips an item and loses its power, it would go back to not having regeneration. Regardless of that, 6 mana 6/6 Overwhelm, good. 6 mana 6/6 Overwhelm, 6 mana 8/6 Regen Overwhelm, insane. This is a pretty good card. You might run this in some control-based equipment decks, or anything really that can give that power. Because if you can get that up to 8 power, good card. And it's in Freljord. Freljord's able to give stats. Trundle on crack? Kinda. It's kind of like a cracked level 1 Trundle. Well, I guess it's not level 1 Trundle. It's kind of level 2 Trundle. It's a different way of doing Trundle. But that's a good comparison. Trundle's a very good comparison. Pouty Poro, empowered 3, overwhelm, regen, and tough. I once again, I think empowered is when it has power 3. Pouty Poro, so once this reaches 3 power, in other words, once you've played 2 Poro snacks, this gets regen, overwhelm, and tough. This becomes a Mighty Poro with regen and tough. I'm gonna say that again. Mighty Poro with regen and tough. This guy's kind of nuts. If we get proper Poro decks in the future, and I imagine we might, right? Because again, Poro King got leaked. People were saying Poro King was coming. Pouty Poro is gonna be good. This is gonna be a good card. Speaking of Udyr, Wild Mysticism. Get an empty mana gem, summon a feral mystic at 5 mana. Oh, it's this fucker? Oh. I thought it was one of the transforming guys. Oh. I don't know about you anymore. I mean, didn't they try this as well? Wasn't there a Lysandra spell that gave you an empty thrall? Yeah, it gave you it gave you a frozen thrall and an empty mana gem. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's a card. And that card has never seen play. Here's another one for that category. Feral Mystic is a bad card. It's decent when you're empowered, but at 5 mana? Or not empowered, enlightened. Here to help. Give an ally +0/+3. This art is fucking adorable. 2 mana burst, give an ally +0/+3 this round. If it's damaged, give it +2/+3 instead. It's good to keep yourself alive, right? It's not quite as good as Troll Chant. Worse Bromspell? Well, Bromspell needs you to be damaged, and is 1 mana more expensive. This is 1 mana cheaper, but it's temporary. And has the chant... And it can be played if it's not damaged. If you just need the health, boom, it gives you the health. But if you want to strike back, it also gives you some power. I think it's an interesting spell. My only issue with it is Troll Chant exists. So unless Troll Chant is getting nerfed to 3 mana as well, I don't think this is gonna be as good. Okay, the Darkin Spear. Grant the top 2 allies in your deck +1/+1. And it gives you 2 health. I already like this thing a lot. You may spend 8 mana to play me as Anaka. And Anaka... This art is beautiful. 8 mana, 6/8. Attack from the top 6 cards in your deck. Summon an attacking follower or non-champion Darkin and grant it +1/+1? So this just summons a free attacker from your deck. Yeah, sure. What? What? Play this. You play this with, the what is it? Ritual blood sacrifice. Blood altar. That's what it is. the card that reduces the costs of Darkin every time a unit dies, you play this thing on, like, turn 4? Turn 6? No, you can't get it that early. You can get it kind of early. Get it early, get this card down early, and win the game as you just summon more and more Darkin. Keep in mind, too, this also doesn't shuffle the cards back. It keeps the cards the same. It just pulls out a follower and puts it on the field. And my guess is this probably transforms... Yeah, free summon +1/+1 too. +1/+1 on the summon, nuts. The fact that you can get this... my guess is this probably transforms Darkin weapons. So it'll look, if it finds like a Darkin Aegis or summon, it'll summon it as a Jural. That's my guess. And if that's the case, fuck, dude. I haven't even looked at Aatrox yet, but this is... you know? Navori Longtail. When I'm summoned, summon a Navori Brigand or give other allies +1/+1 this round. What is Navori Brigand? Oh, wait, Navori Brigand is the card Navori Highwayman summons. Interesting. Why does he summon that? What? Why did... Sure. Yeah, okay. We'll go with it. So it is a 4/3 at 3 mana with a chump blocker. But it's a 3/1 too, right? 3/1 is really interactable. This dies to anything. Or it gives everyone else +1/+1. And that's a good effect. This might be decent in like Ahri decks, maybe. That's kind of what I think it's for. This looks like an Ahri deck card. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Ionia is also kind of in a bad spot right now. They got, deservedly, nerfed recently. Twin Winds Technique. Oh, hey, Faye. 4 mana slow. Pick a follower. Summon an exact ephemeral copy of it. If it's an ally, stun it. Stun it? Okay, wait. Hold on. Does it stun your copy, or does it stun their copy? I'm assuming it stuns your copy. Dawn and Dusk? Yeah. It stuns their copy? There's no way it stuns their copy, right? Like, imagine it's, what's a really big follower? What's like a stupid big follower? Let's go with Battering Ram, right? Imagine I steal your Battering Ram. Text is after the summon, so yours isn't stunned. Farron. Farron's a great one. Why would you stun your own ephemeral unit? Because why would it let you steal a unit for free and then additionally stun an enemy? You pretty much would only ever... It incentivizes using your own allies. Things like a Fey Blade Twirler, rather than stealing an enemy. There's no way... Oh my god. Seriously? Alright, you know how I just said Ionia was bad? Can we go, like, 2 patches without Ionia coming back into the meta? This is really good. If it stuns the enemy rather than your ally in addition to giving you a copy of it, that's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Darkin Fan is a 2 mana +1/+0. Summon an attacking Dragonling when you attack. That's pretty good. And 9 mana for Pra the Breachwalker. Okay, just on its own 2 feet. Before we look at Pra, good effect. Really good effect. That's awesome. And Pra the Breachwalker, play and when I transform, summon 2 ephemeral copies of me. Grant 1 lifesteal, 1 challenger, and me elusive. So Pra here splits herself, I'm gonna guess. And is effectively a 15/12. 1 with elusive, 1 with lifesteal, and 1 with challenger. You'll always have the elusive one. So you'll always have a striking 5/4. It's like a 1-turn Darkin. Pra is your finisher. Pra is your game closer. Not to Rosh levels of game closing. You can recall and do it again. I imagine that's somewhat the idea behind her. But the lifesteal and challenger, massive. Massive. Challenger gives you safety for your elusive unit. You can pull aside a unit that would potentially be able to block it. Lifesteal heals your Nexus up 4 in the late game. And elusive gives you 5 damage to face. It's effectively a swing. It is effectively a guaranteed swing of 10 to the Nexus. 5 to you, 5 from them. Game swing of 10. That's big. That is a quarter of a game in a single play. And that's, like, discounting the Challenger, who's probably just going to be pulling a big unit to the side. I don't know if it's better than, like, Tarash, because you could play Tarash a turn later and get a board wipe, get a one-sided, one-sided harrowing on attack, which is really good with a 10-10 at the helm. Tarash is really good, which is why I feel like Pra might fall short. It might be good for Ionian Recall. Might be good as a recall finisher. The equipment is really good. Getting a 2-1 lifesteal ephemeral every time you attack, really good. Really good. The question is just, is it, like, good enough? Pra feels slow. I think Pra is a little too slow. And I think it's basically, if you're playing a Darkin deck, you're gonna go for Tarash over Pra. But the equipment of the Darkin fan is just so worth it. Crimson Pigeon. Support. Deal 1 to my supported ally to grant me +1/+1. It's a 1-mana 2/2. And then we've also got Reveler's Feast. I'm just switching to this because I already saw this. Deal 2 to an ally to give allies +2/+0 this round. So this is our Vlad support. Crimson Pigeon? I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this. I think Bloodletter, the other Crimson 1-drop that they dropped because Vlad was struggling, I think that's a better 1-drop for the package. I might be eating my words on that. Crimson Pigeon might be decent. But I think Reveler's Feast is where it's really at. This is a pretty decent finisher effect. +2/+0 at burst speed for free. Or not for free, but for 3. You know. Really good. Really good. Caustic Riff is a 3-mana fast. Slow. Not slow. Flow. I cost 1 less. Deal 1 to all enemies. Okay. So it's a 3-mana deal 1 to all enemies. That's pretty good. It could be 2 mana too. This is a really good card. I'm definitely undervaluing this. This is a really good card. And the fact that it's intended for Seraphine, you know, to be copied, that's really good. It can't be generated with all the new cards that generate 2-cost spells, but this is still solid card. Easily a solid card. Very good tool for P&Z. Speaking of 2-cost Seraphine support, Encore! Burst speed. Create a random new 2-cost spell in hand. Reduce its cost by 2 and grant it fleeting. So it's just free. You just get a free spell. A random free spell. This is Trail of Evidence? Yeah, this is Trail of Evidence. But it's always gonna work for you. I don't know why you'd run Trail of Evidence instead of this. This is just better Trail of Evidence. Maybe you run both just to help your Seraphine level faster, right? Acoustician, 3-mana 2/3 strike, create a random new 2-cost spell in hand. Oh, River's just normal strike too? Okay. I was gonna scream. That's good at least. Drawing is generally better than creating. I'm inclined to agree, but this is really good for Seraphine, right? You don't get spells. You don't get to get spells from your deck. Yeah. Acoustician is kind of gambling, but the thing is, there's like no bad 2-cost spell. 2-cost spells tend to be like some of the strongest, if not the strongest in the game. I'd say if you had to pick any price range for spells to be at to evaluate their like strength, I think 2-cost is the strongest mana cost of spell in the game. Hands down. Cunning Kitten is a 2-mana 2/3. When I'm summoned, if I was created, draw 1 and grant me +2/+1. So how do we make this card? How do we create this card? This is interesting. Imagine getting Kitten off a portal. Oh, that's really good. Kitten off portal is really good. That's a high roll and a half, but if you get it, that's a banger hit. Iterative? Oh, iterative fucks with this thing. Holy shit. Iterative. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If you find ways to create this iterative improvement, this card gives you everything. 2 mana, 4/4, draws and cycles itself. That's really good. 2 mana, 2/3 ain't horrible. Yeah, even if you haven't created it, 2 mana, 2/3 is a really good stat line. And if you are able to create it, then 2 mana, 4/4 is a really good stat line. And if I'm not mistaken, most of the ways you create things are like, it gives you like buffs too, like iterative improvement, grants it +1/+1. This becomes a 2 mana 5/5 draw 1. This card is nuts. It's got a really hard restrictive condition, and my guess is you're probably not going to be able to, like, you know, immediately be able to play this, or like, there's not going to be any way to directly create this. You're going to have to be creative and create it yourself in order to make it work. But if you can, this is such a good card. This is a really good card. Ryze is a 4 mana 3/5 Origin the Rune Maze. Rune Maze? Rune Mage. When I'm summoned or round start, create 2 Delve into the Pasts in your deck. I see 3+ unique world runes. That's a cool condition. That's his champion spell. That's his level 2. What's his origin? I'm looking for his origin. I'm going to read these in a second. Okay. You may put any non-targeted burst and focus spells into your deck during deck building. Ooh. At the start of the game, create 2 Delve into the Pasts in your deck for each Ryze that started the game in your deck. Okay. So this right here, Ryze is a spell slinger. That much is clear. And he cycles around Delve into the Past, which is a 2 mana burst spell. Choose one of 2 world runes you don't have in play or in hand and create it in hand. If you can't, draw 1. That's nice. It cycles itself if it can't do the thing it's supposed to do. This is a skill. And this is a spell. I'm assuming it comes from like Realm Warp or something. We're finding out a lot today about Ryze. His champion spell is draw 3, discard any followers drawn. Interesting. That's like a Magic the Gathering spell. I'd say this in Magic. Alright, Ryze is level 2. When I'm summoned around start, create 2 Delve into the Pasts in your deck. Attack, activate all of your world runes. If you have 5 unique world runes, destroy the enemy nexus. Okay. So Ryze is a win con. Damn. Okay, wait, they literally just printed a Magic card exactly like this. Urza Planeswalker. Sorry, I've been getting into Magic recently. Ryze is a Magic the Gathering card. God damn. So his level 2 just makes you a win con. He becomes the win con. You are looking for your world runes, and you get them from Delve into the Past. I cannot believe I clicked that right. Where does his Overload spell come from? Is that his attack thing? Or no, it probably comes from the runes, doesn't it? Realm Warp is legit a Hearthstone card, is it? I've never played Hearthstone. I've tried, and then it locked me out at the front page, so I didn't. I'm assuming Rune Prison and Overload here have something to do with the world runes, so how about we look into the world runes? Shard of Betrayal. When I'm played, if I'm unique, activate all your other world runes. Okay, so whenever you play a world rune, you activate your other world runes. And then when I'm played or activated, I have no idea what this does, but 4 cost 4/6 with Spell Shield sounds stupid. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? When I'm played or activated, deal 2 to the weakest enemy. Okay, so that's the, nope, that's way too far over. That's the Overload here. So, whenever this world rune, nope, that's Ryze. Whenever this world rune gets activated, which it's activated whenever you play another world rune, or when you've played it for the first time. Or sorry, when you've played another unique world... Ryze is a fucking Magic card, dude. I don't know what to tell you. So this is board clear. Cool. And whenever Ryze level 2 attacks, he activates all your world runes. So effectively, every time you attack with Ryze, you activate the world runes. Oh, there's 5 world runes. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, Ryze is really cool. They've designed Ryze to be your only champion. Or your only unit. Ryze plays alone. Ryze plays as Ryze. You don't get followers, you don't get landmarks, or you get landmarks. Your landmarks are the world runes. But Ryze is going to be your only unit. Yeah, so you want to use your world runes. Hold on, where's the, it's like right here. Nope, that's Aatrox. We'll talk about you in a second. You can't put targeted burst or focus spells into your deck. But he lets you put any burst or focus spells into your deck during deck building. And then you want to pair this with like P and Z. Ryze is control on drugs. He is your only unit, and he is just looking for the world runes. But then when you get the world runes, you like fill your board up with each of them. Once you have them all together, you win the game. That's cool. That's really cool. I like this design. I've been playing a lot of Magic recently. The Shard of Hope. When I'm played, if I'm unique, activate all your world runes. When I'm played or activated, heal allied Ryzes and your Nexus too. Yeah, this is confirmation. You are playing around Ryze. Ryze is your only unit. That's cool. That's really cool. I'm sorry, that's so cool. Shard of Madness. When I'm played, if I'm unique, activate your other world runes. When I'm played or activated, create a rune prison in hand, or if you have one, reduce its cost by 1. And if I'm not mistaken, rune prison is right here. And yeah, it's just it just stuns an attacking enemy. So the Madness one lets you stop attackers. And then Shard of Reverence. When I'm played or activated, refilled 2 spell mana. This lets you cycle. Perfect. You're going to be doing a lot of cycling with this, so having a shard that lets you do that is really cool. And then finally, the Shard of Violence. When I'm played, if I'm unique, draw 1. Okay. So, damn, this is really cool design space. I'm sorry. This is so cool. So you can like, oh, Ryze is so big brain and I love it. Ryze is a Magic the Gathering card. So you have 1 rune that lets you cycle, 1 rune that refills and helps you cycle a lot of your stuff, 1 rune that helps you stop attacks, 1 rune that helps you keep your Ryze and your Nexus alive, and 1 rune that 1 rune that takes out your enemy's board. And all Ryze wants to do is look through his deck as much as he can to find the delve into the pasts. And the only way you get those is you get a couple at the start of game, and then once you get Ryze down, you start generating them on round start. So you gotta keep Ryze alive as best you can. Ryze is gonna be so cool to see. Seriously, this Ryze is going to be awesome to see. There's so many big brain ways like you're gonna be able to play him. I don't think there's gonna be too much variety with how you play him. Ryze Predict. That's really good. Yeah, no. Okay, I take that back. Ryze can go into a lot of decks. Ryze can be played with Shurima. I was thinking P and Z first, because that gives you access to damage spells, which through his origin, Ryze doesn't give you any access to damage spells. And I don't think that relying on the singular Shard of Betrayal here, I don't think that's going to be good for you. I don't think that's enough damage to rely on. So I feel like you'd want to work with P and Z. Maybe Shadow Isles. Shadow Isles is really good for sustain too. You might do Shadow Isles, because Shadow Isles has both direct damage and sustain with a lot of drain and whatnot. You might use Shadow Isles. And I haven't even gotten to Aatrox yet. Origin, the World Ender, auto-equip the Darkin Blade. When I'm summoned or strike, heal your Nexus 2 and create a World Ender in hand if you don't already have one. You've played World Ender. What is this here? Okay, that's his spell. Oh, he has Deathbringer. And then his level 2, Allied Dark... Okay, so Aatrox is your Darkin Nautilus. Darkin allies cost 5 less as a 9/9 with Overwhelm. When I'm summoned or strike, heal your Nexus 2. So he keeps you alive. And then you just spam the fuck out of some Darkin and win the game. Yeah, that's kind of how you had to go with Aatrox. That's a really good design space for him. And the Darkin Blade is a simple 1/1 and gives him regen. Yes! Okay, so going back to Aatrox level 1, effectively, Aatrox is a 6 mana 6/6 regen. I don't know what World Ender does. Let me check that. Is it over here? Hey, I clicked on it perfectly. You may put any non-champion Darkin into your deck during deck building. Once you've played or summoned 3+ different other Darkin, draw Aatrox. So Aatrox brings together the Darkin. That much was to be expected. That's really cool. And then World Ender. This is his level condition. Reduce my cost by 1 for each time an equipped or Darkin ally has struck this game. Assimilate all equipped allies with Darkin? What the fuck is assimilate? What does that mean? What's the next card? Okay, just a random Shadow Isles card. What the fuck is assimilate? My best guess for what this is, because it says assimilate allies equipped with Darkin. My guess is you're gonna have a board, and assimilate makes it so that all of the units that you currently have equipped with Darkin weapons transform into the Darkin weapons. That is my guess. It's every time an equipped or Darkin ally has struck this game. So this card doesn't have to be out for its cost to be reduced. Theoretically, if you struck 6 times, this would be a 7 cost spell on turn 6 when you play Aatrox. Which means you'd be able to play it the next turn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Aatrox and an enemy strike each other, create a Deathbringer slash in hand. So a 3-mana Aatrox strikes somebody. 2 mana, Aatrox strikes somebody. Or Aatrox strikes somebody and gets struck. And then 1 mana, Aatrox strikes somebody else. So it's Aatrox's 1, 2, 3 from League. But it's always getting struck back. You want to run one of the champion Darkins with Aatrox. I don't know if you want to do Kayle or Varus. It's going to depend on your preference. My guess is you probably want to do Varus, but you want the cultists. Actually, no, you want to do Kayle, because Varus kind of struggles to get his own level condition. No, but you'll be equipping a lot of allies. Okay, you can maybe do Varus. The cultists and the Darkin are meant to go together. You're meant to play a bunch of cultists so you can equip them with Darkin. You can maybe do Kayle. I think Kayle is playing too much of a different game. I think Kayle is kind of a bit of an individual from Varus and Aatrox, which, hey, that's kind of fitting for his lore. But I think you want to do Varus and Aatrox in a deck together. Varus brings in the cultist, Aatrox brings in the Darkin, and you equip all of your cultists with Darkin. You get to World Ender. Your entire board just becomes a board full of Darkin. Terosh, Ibaros, Araka, Zolani, Drawl, something like this. And then you just swing for the fucking hills with Aatrox. Darkin allies costing 5 less is huge. Do you want to know how big that is? That makes Kayle free. I wait to the party, but assimilate is transform allies with Darkin equipment into their Darkin forms. If they're a champion, they level... If they're a champion, they level up? So what you're telling me is if I have Kayle or Varus on the board and I cast World Ender, they immediately level up. Aatrox is the new Aesol. Because you win. You win when Aatrox levels up. You just win. Your board with equipped Darkin, they're leveled. Your allied champions that aren't Aatrox, they're leveled. Your units in hand that you could still play because they're Darkin, they're leveled. Or they're free. They cost 5 less. I don't know that you need Blood Altar. I don't know that you need Blood Altar. I think World Ender is enough of effect that you want to run him with cultists. I think you want to run Aatrox with cultists. It's the battle between, is Aatrox in Shurima with Blood Altar better than just winning the game on the spot? Because that's what World Ender is. World Ender ends the world, ends the game. It moves on to the next game because you win. You will win. Fuck. Okay. Aatrox is going to be really interesting to see play out. Redeemed Prodigy. Attack, summon an attacking Ghastly Band. As a 2-mana 2/2? That seems really good. You just get a free ephemeral attacker every time you do the thing. It's the same thing as what is it? The landmark that just gives you an attacker on your whenever you have the attack token. Another Ghastly Band whenever you have the attack token. But this just does it on the attack, which makes it less interactive. That's pretty good. It's not a permanent effect like the landmark is. Well, the landmark's not permanent, but the landmark's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a solid thumbs up. Seems like it's good for Gwen. Gwen's been decent for a while now. Deathless Knight is a 6-mana 5/5. When I would gain Ephemeral, grant me +1/+1 instead. Ooh. Hi, Callista. This is really good with Callista. That's the big one, right? You just, every time you attack with Callista, you create another unit that you get to work with. Mark of the Isles, I guess. All those crappy 1-cost spells that give a unit ephemeral. This might be a good unit for control. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't think I'm the proper authority. I'm not great with knowing what ephemeral does. But this looks like it's in a good spot. Shadow Isles Fast, Shape of Fear, kill an ally to summon an Encroaching Mist. Oh god. 1 mana Encroaching Mist, huh? And if you have Viego, that's another Encroaching Mist. That's 2 Encroaching Mists for 1 mana. I genuinely think this is likely to see play in addition to things like Glimpse Beyond. Glimpse Beyond, obviously, kill your own ally, draw 2. This lets you kill an ally at 1 cost cheaper and create an ephemeral token to trade around with. That's pretty good. Is it game-changing for Viego? Not really. Does it make Viego better, especially after the nerf? Absolutely, I think. Shurima Landmark, Acolyte's Reliquary. When I'm summoned, create a Ruinous Acolyte. Why do I call it a coital? I always see that and I think a coital. When I'm summoned, create a Ruinous Acolyte in hand. When you destroy me, create a Coital's Reliquary. I did it again! When I'm summoned, create a Ruinous Acolyte in hand. When you destroy me, create an Acolyte's Reliquary in the top 5 cards of your deck. Oh, it's self-cycling. I thought it summoned the Ruinous Acolyte. So the idea behind this is you play the landmark, you get the Ruinous Acolyte in hand to then destroy the landmark and grant Ruinous Acolytes everywhere +1/+1, and then you draw it again, and the cycle repeats ad infinitum. It's mainly the fact that this messes with your draw that I don't think this is going to be a good card. Because messing with your draw can be problematic. I still think it's in a pretty good spot for what it is, though. Shuriman, 3 mana 1/3, Rockbear Shepherd. When you summon an ally, advance your highest countdown landmark 1 round. When I'm summoned, summon a hibernating Rockbear. Mono Shurima? That was my first thought, too. Damn, this is good with this here. Because you are making a ton of soldiers. Tons of sand soldiers. And every time you summon it, another tick off your Sun Disc. I think this is absolutely a Mono Shurima card. You absolutely put this in Mono Shurima now. This is better than whatever the visiting, like, noble card or whatever it is. Azir Lysandra Thralls. Yeah, this also works for Lysandra, too. Yeah, this is good for Thralls. This is good for Mono Shurima. This is a really good card. The one thing it's lacking is a stat line, but it is a value engine and a half, let me tell you. Speaking of landmarks, Void Gate. When you summon an ally or an ally dies, grant each of its positive keywords to 3 allies in your deck. This doesn't see play. No. Interesting idea. Not going to see play. Its drawback is how random it is. You cannot confirm what ally it goes to, and you can't confirm when you're going to draw that ally. And just simply due to the random and unreliable nature of it, you can't play it. And now we get to Kayle. Alright, Kayle is going to close this out, it seems. 2 mana burst at Targon. Celestial Blessing. Grant an ally in play and an ally in hand +1/+1. That's a really good card, actually. Wow. Faded trigger, anyone? It's the first hand buff we've seen in ages, man. We haven't seen, like, proper hand buff in ages, and it's in Targon. Is Kayle gonna work around hand buff? Is that the idea? The main reason I say Faded, too, right, is you can use this with Pantheon so effectively. Because a lot of the problem with Pantheon is very weak stat line-wise, and you want to grow him with Faded. But you can pre-buff him a little bit using this card without having to leave your Targon region, and that's really good. Divine Clerk is a 1-mana 2/1 empowered 3 lifesteal. Ooh. Okay, so if you manage to get this to 3 power, it only needs +1 on its power. You get lifesteal on this guy. 1-mana 3/2 lifesteal is pretty good, and there's a lot of cards that can get you up to that 3 power. Even if you just need it for a turn, something like Pale Cascade is really good. If you want, like, the Grant, obviously, hey, Celestial Blessing, boom, it gets you there. And you can do it on him before he's even in play. That's good. Oh, I see how Kayle's gonna work now. Give it the Darken Aegis and it's the most annoying card ever. Holy shit, you're right. Divine Judgment, 6 mana burst in Targon. Give an ally I can't take damage or die this round. Give all allies +1/+0 this round. It's Kayle's ult, baby! Yeah, you knew there was gonna be a Immortal Blessing kind of thing that Kayle does. She's iconic for that ult. And this is good for all of Targon, too, actually. Like, this... I'd say this with Taric, but Taric already serves that purpose. This with Pantheon, right? Faded trigger, extra damage, and he can't die. Here we go. Here's Kayle. Kayle is a 6-mana 2/6. They love that 6, don't they? I have +1/+0 for each time an ally attacked with increased power. When I'm summoned, grant other allies +1/+0, and when she reaches 6 power, she has quick attack. So Kayle is going to be played with Pantheon, and her level 2, she gets quick attack and overwhelm. Keep in mind, she's already going to be at 12 power when she has this. I have +1/+0 for every time an ally is attacked with increased power. When I'm summoned or level up, grant other allies +1/+1. That's really good. And empowered 16, she gets double attack. That's very Kayle of her, I'll put it that way. This is Kayle, alright. Kayle works very well with Varus. Kayle works very well with Pantheon. Darkin. Kayle works well with any Darkin. Kayle works well with Viego. Anything that increases power. Kayle could work with elites, right? But she's really good in Targon. Obviously, if you drop her as a 2/6, that sucks. Good news, you're never going to drop her as a 2/6. I genuinely think I'm going to start with Pantheon. I think I'm going to start with Pantheon Kayle as my first, like, deck when I try Kayle. I think she's going to get double attack on the same time she attacks. As long as you have, like, a half-decent board and you attack with all units, with Kayle being last, or even first. The Empower doesn't need you... The Empower doesn't trigger on the attack. Kayle should probably... her first attack with her level 2 should probably give her the double attack. Let's finish looking at her followers. A 6-mana, 2/7. Play stun enemies with less power than me. What is this Ionian-ass card doing in Targon? Getting real Bayonetta vibes from these allies? Yeah, this is Bayo. This is Bayonetta. The full arts of these is absolutely, like, something you've seen in Bayonetta. I think this is meh, because the only hand buff we really have is, where is it? Back here. Celestial Blessing. Lawkeeper is kind of more so, for decks that want to run hand buffing of some kind. I don't quite know how you'd run that. You might run that with Freljord, you might run that with, Kayle Atrocity. Oh, fuck. You're right. You're so right with that, too. Because you have enough buff in Targon to buff up Kayle. And then use Shadow Owls to have Atrocity. It's the same thing as Nautilus Atrocity or Viego Atrocity, but better. If the enemy tries to interact, that gives you a chance to buff it up. Hallowed Kayle. Hallowed definitely works with Kayle. Lawkeeper is kind of an iffy card, I feel like. You gotta find ways to buff it up. The stat line is a little weird, but 7 health is pretty nice. The stun's a bit wonky. Okay, 5 mana 1/1. Mihira, Aspect of Justice. Oh, that's why it looks like a biblical angel, because it's the literal Aspect of Justice that is split between Kayle and Morgana. Cool, okay, that's why we're getting Bayonetta vibes. Round N, grant allies in play and hand +1/+1. Empowered 5, Elusive, Lifesteal, and Overwhelm. Oh my god, this fucking expansion, man. This is so cool. This is such a fucking cool card. I love that they've suddenly put hand buff in Targon. Awesome addition. Just very fitting for Targon. Like, we technically have had Destiny's Call, but that's hand buff in the same way that She Who Wanders is an 8-cost card. Like, yeah, it's technically an 8-cost card. It's not effective at being an 8-cost card, because it's doing way more than it needs to be an 8-cost card. But it is. Kayle package straight up looks like Daybreak cards. Yeah, that might be a little confusing. But other than that, we literally have a fucking biblical angel in the game right now. Kayle level 2 with Curse of the Tome. Yeah, you can play her with Shurima, too. Kayle is very flexible, isn't she? Purifying Flames is a 4-mana +3/+3. Grant an... 4-mana burst. Grant an ally in hand +3/+3. And another +2/+2? Why did they suddenly pop off with the hand buff? I'm not complaining, but goddamn. Purifying Flames, I think it's a little bit slow, but it's a really big buff, right? And I was talking about Xenotype Researchers earlier, the +3/+3. It was always kind of iffy, that +3/+3, because you never knew when it was going to hit with the Xenotype Researchers. But this, you get to choose when it hits. Sephiric Wyvern, more Bayonetta enemies. 4-mana 3/5, and when you reach 5 power, it has Fury too. It's a dragon, it has Fury. And when you reach 5 power, it gets Overwhelm. That's nice. That's really nice. It's rare that we see dragons with more health than power. And then 3-mana 2/4, Winged Messenger, Empowered 3, Elusive. That's simple. That's pretty cool. This is kind of like a 4th champion, I think. Zolani, the Bloodweaver. 7-mana Darkin, 2/2 Overwhelm. I have +2/+2 for each ally that died with its power increased. Empowered 16, transforming into Zolani Aspect's Vein. This is a Darkin finisher. What the fuck is that? I have +2/+2 for each ally that died with its power increased. Transform attacking non-Darkin followers into exact copies of me. What the fuck? Hello, late game! Holy shit. We are in a control meta now. I think this is genuinely the perfect finisher to this. My god. What an incredible... What an incredible, like, fucking way to do this. Here. I know it used to kind of be like this, where they had all of the expansions release at once, back with Rising Tides and whatnot. They released all of Rising Tides at once, and then they went, okay, let's split that out. And then they revealed cards slowly, one at a time, in the same way that they split the expansions up. I'd like them to keep the old style. But I gotta say, this right here, this was so much fun. Looking through all these cards, doing very quick theory craftings. Man, we're in a late game meta. This is just... the most insane late game stuff is in Targon where it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's true. This is a really cool expansion. I'm really looking forward to playing on this. A lot of cool new toys. That's a good way of putting it.